So, I thought I'd make another video on these two chainsaws. These two saws, but what's the most I like about these two cheap chainsaws? Well, they're okay, but I do like them sometimes, but they kind of remind me of the old school saws from 1990s and 80s. But they do kind of look similar just like the American old school saws. And they both got chain tensioners on the side of a clutch cover on the right side in front, right behind those two bolts. Behind them too. That's why I like them at the most. Because they both got chain tensioners on this side right there. And that side right there. And they got different air filters on them. And they're not similar, they're not the same saw, but they got different air filters on them. This one's a USA 2001 Timber Pro, made by Remington. And this is the last ones. They were made in 2010, made as the Blue Max version models. And there's a spark plug. And that's a choke, and there's no primer button on it. There's no primer. Other things I like about it is it's got a toggle switch, just like on the Homelite Super XL and the XL automatic oiling saw with a little red XL recoil with a 16-inch bar on it. The only thing I like about it, it's got a toggle switch. Reminds you of the old school saws like a Homelite Super XL and the XL12 and that saw in the Stihl 031 AV. And the choke on the right, just like on the Super XL. And there's no lock to lock the throttle in. But I did make a hole for it for this side right here. I am going to get a throttle lock kit so I can put a throttle lock into this, and it's going to be completed. And I'm going to find its original throttle, the black one online, and replace the orange one. Make it look just like the Echo CS310 and the Timberwolf CS590. And there's other thing I like about them is recoils. I like where it's got the easy way to pull on them when you fire them up, because I like orange cap and black for oil. And this one is easy to fill up your oiler after. When you're out of oil, you could just put them in there. And fuel right here, and oil is not at the front, because I don't like about it, because the oil is back here. Makes it look similar easy to refill it after when you're cutting up wood and letting it set and cool off. But it's a lightweight saw. It's lightweight because it's used for trimming on your trees and stuff, limbing, or getting something out of your way when you're riding on trails or in your own trails on your farm. And the other thing I like about these two, which is parts. But there's a part number on them where you can order parts. And the Ryobi is made by Homelite from 2018, right after when Homelite went out of business. They decided to make corded Homelite chainsaws, because they're made by Vietnam, and that one is made back in 2001 in USA by Remington. But this is a Timber Pro right before they came up with their own company brand of Remington. But they made several changes on them. They added a regular switch, a regular kill switch, just like on this one. Put choke up right here and added a purge bulb in the back of it right here, so you could prime it to get fuel to the carburetor. But this one don't had a primer bulb. It's just a kill switch, throttle, and a button to lock the throttle to wide open and choke. And chain brakes are similar, but they do work same as the old school saws. But this one's got a little snap thing that you pull up. You pull up and remove that. That gets you similar to your air filter and your idle speed to adjust the idle speed on the carburetor. But this one is a little bit difficult, but there is one right there and right here, low and high, to adjust the carburetor. And adjust the carburetor on this one. But this one flops up. But this one does, but you're gonna take that part of it off. I'll show you that in a minute. Hold on. I understand it's summer, but it's almost summertime, but it's still a little cold in April. But you had to remove these two screws out of it, and screws right here, and on the front, right there where my finger is, and right here. They're very different between the two, but they're a little bit different. But these two saws are cheap saws that you could still get them in the hardware store or online. Even that. I got this saw since about 4 years ago in 2019, back in April, back in this month, right before I graduated high school, and next month in May, because that is the year of 2019 when I graduated high school. Because if I decided to be in a public job, but I decided not to because I don't want to be in a public job, because I can't film in the public jobs because I don't want to be writing to find the tickets to get in trouble. And so I'm just gonna be myself, just like myself on this farm property, like I was a child, do stuff around here, take care of everything around here, around the farm, around my piece on this land. Because I'm just going to continue to be myself by not getting a job after all. Which is I already have, but I'm making YouTube videos because I just wanted to share my memories to you guys, and because I decided not to get a job because YouTube is a job. So YouTube is a job for me. Because I like making videos of horror movies and monster truck events and construction machineries on farms, not on public jobs, not on the public areas and in town or anywhere, like in schoolyards or anything. I just like filming stuff on the farm. That's what I like to do. And the mountaintop. But that's the reason why this saw reminds me of the home lights. Because they got toggle switches. Including the 031 AV electronic. It's got a toggle switch. And the Home Lights Super XL. That's what I really like about that cheap orange Timber Pro, because it reminds me of the old saws in the past. And I used it sometimes. Sometimes I can use it when I need to. Just a lightweight saw, but it's not heavy. It weighs about 19 pounds with a 22-inch bar. But as you already seen the video already, how to install the bar and chain on the chainsaw, this is the only 20-inch bar I can use on this saw. But it is a 45cc or 46cc. But I did use it sometime when I'm working on projects like working on the porch, but I definitely don't need to use it. But sometimes I just use a circular saw or the DeWalt multi-tool. And I just like to have fun with some of them old saws. But I just like to have fun with them. But this little saw can pull an 18-inch bar and chain, but it cannot pull a 20-inch bar like on the Timber Pro, because that won't work under this saw. But if you put a 20-inch bar under this saw, you will burn the motor up and damage the clutch on your chainsaw. Then you're just going to have to waste a bunch of money to buy a new one instead of trying to buy parts for these saws, because it's not worth it. But if your piston and cylinder is blown up, if you accidentally put straight gas in it, don't waste your money by buying aftermarket parts on those saws. If you're going to be trying to fix aftermarket parts, piston and cylinder yourself, you can do that if it's up to you. But I would recommend get a Husqvarna 450 and 455 in steel, MS291 or MS250, or you could just buy a used Farm Boss MS290 or 029, 039, MS310, whichever. But they're all the same model saws. They're all the same. And don't ever buy Poulan Pro. Don't ever waste your money on Poulan Pro. Get you a steel Husqvarna or a Neko or a Ryobi or the Remington. But if you're looking to spend money on a chainsaw, don't ever buy cheap chainsaws from Amazon, because don't ever buy Amazon saws that are made in China. But you could still buy the Echo. By the Echo and Husqvarna on Amazon, you still can. But if these things are working fine for you guys, it's your decision in your opinion, but I'm not gonna make you all waste your time by buying another saw. But if they both got very good sharp chains, and I use that Ryobi a lot. As you can see, the paint on the bar is getting wore out. That's because I use this saw so much, and that are the Fallon spikes I got online and put them on this saw right here, and it works just fine the way it is. And my uncle gave me this saw to me for free because he don't want it back, because he doesn't even like that saw. He doesn't even like it because it cuts a bit slow, just like a Homelite. But it does weigh about 19 pounds. And I did make a homemade Fallon spikes for this saw. I put a homemade Fallon spikes onto it and copied off the picture of a Remington's Fallon spikes and made them out of metal like these, and spray painted it black. And it fits on there perfectly. Way much better than those dogs, those Fallon spikes. And they both start on the first pull all the time, but the big one starts on the first pull all the time without holding the throttle or anything. Because I like when this thing starts on the first pull, just like the good ones do. Just like the Super XL and 031, Husqvarna, Homelite, Poland, and Craftsman. But I don't even care how it starts. But even that, I do use some of these saws sometimes when I need to. But even that, they're both very good little saws. Very good for trimming and bucking up firewood. And they're both actually pretty good little saws. And someday, I'll have a video of the Ryobi in this thing in action cutting firewood for you guys. Sooner this summer. And I'll have an update video on my grandmother's porch when me and my buddy get the porch done. Then I'll make a video of the porch for you guys and show you how it looks like. Well, there they are. Your two favorite cheap Chinese chainsaws, or Amazon chainsaws, or Home Depot chainsaws. Alrighty. See you next time on the next video after next week. Or 4 or 3 days. So, bye-bye.